Only six, probably 2 months ago. And I finally, I didn't want to be yours.
We'll do, pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag. Yes. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everyone should have the minutes in their packet for review and approval. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them? Have it, Chris? I reviewed them and make a motion to approve. I'll second it. You've heard the motion, the second, roll call please.
Dave,
Aye.
Sean, Gary,
Abstain.
Chris,
Aye.
and Frank.
Aye. So the motion was carried for the approval of the meeting. Of both meetings, correspondence, the dissolution implementation of grant update. Where am I looking for that in?
Right behind correspondence. It's the waiver request letter.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully, because I didn't review and put it on. So does everyone have an opportunity to review this?
You recall. So this is the one that we
This is
requested.
the one that we found to still get some on. Funds that we were, it was originally to go to the village. They did not apply, and we got a waiver so that we still could, we could request the money. So that's what is needed here.
And you signed the signature page for
Yeah.
payment on the second.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. So there's still help, that's what, how many years we've been trying to get that money?
But you.
No,
No,
this was when the dissolution, the village got, was granted so much and we were granted so much. Two of the responsibilities were those to take care of 2 hours, but they did not take care
All
of.
they're gonna do then.
So it's said,
Like a resolution of the dissolution thing.
Yeah. okay. The light went off, now I remember. All right, we'll move into public comment. Joe is not, unfortunately, not with us tonight. He said if there's anything, if we have any questions, we can contact him. Okay. We do have a gentleman here.
Evening, my name is Trevor Lisa, part of the executive committee for the Republican Party. We're trying to get out to town board meetings, village board meetings, so you see our faces. Check to see if Mr. Lightfoot's showing up and if he's doing his just duty. And if he's not, it's kind of our job to make a few calls and see if we can get him to show up. If that's.
He's been a regular visitor to our board.
That's good. I heard he had been, so that's good, basically. Just reaching out, anybody wants to come help us with the Republican Party, we'll take any help that you want to give us, any feedback you need to have done, yell at us. Anything like that, anything we can help you with, bounce some ideas off each other. The more hands, the lighter the work, that's my take on that whole mess. So that's pretty much why I'm here, just to kind of reach out so people see our faces. And check in on our legislators, because we have some that have a little harder time showing up with meetings and all that type of stuff.
Well, that, since I was wondering who you were, I asked.
Sure.
Who's that guy?
Sure.
No.
Sure. I myself sit on the village board in Governor, so I know all about this fun stuff. So, and I actually run the liquor store in the village of Governor, so if you're ever through there.
Mrs. Beasley.
That would be me, yes, I'm Mr. Beasley.
Are you Mrs. Beasley?
I am Mrs. Beasley, yeah. Actually, funny story, my grandparents bought that in '89 from her brother. And that was the name that my grandfather hung on it, or hung on my grandmother as a joke, and when they bought the liquor store, that's what they named it. So I got forced into service there and been there ever since, so that's my background there.
And what is your name? I'm sorry.
I'm Troy Bisson, yes.
Okay.
Any questions for me, guys? Any questions for regarding the Republican Party? Anything we can do for you? Any bodies that want to help us out, reach out, come see me, anything folks need. Sounds like the representative pretty good, Mr. Lightfoot, I know him as well, most of his areas.
Yeah, this is an exception, he's not here tonight. Any calling?
That's good, Joe does good work usually.
Sometimes our meetings go on.
Well, ours tend to go on a little bit there, ours tend to get a little heated, you guys seem like.
Well, it doesn't heat it,
Yeah.
but Joe's reports sometimes can be.
A little lengthy, there you go.
Lengthy
You know,
in detail.
Yeah. Ours tend to get a little heated there, ours gets a little heated.
And last month, he actually was a little repetitious from the month before.
Really? Well, he probably had all the files and all of his minutes in one file and you heard them all on.
Yep, so,
No more questions for me, anything?
no, we appreciate your.
All right.
Yeah, thank
Well, you bet. Well, I'm gonna step out because I gotta hit one more this afternoon. But you may probably, don't forget to see me. You may see, Fred B, Fred over in Ogden.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you may see Freddie once in a while too. That's kind of our goal to get out and mingle around here. And if you got any questions or concerns,
Yeah, I haven't seen him since I used to go to Freedom Hills.
there you go. Well, I see him a couple weeks ago when I was sitting in the meeting. I was between him and Emery Webb, if that tells you anything, Emery. Well, thank you again, both for your time. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
You betcha.
Okay, actually, Rich, we could pull you in here on this, on the public comment.
So last month, there was some discussion about, say, a person who gave a presentation could not be heard. And so Mr. Frank here asked me to put together a little proposal, or some words to that effect. So what I did, clearly, we went to Amazon, we looked at a Fender PA system. It has speakers, it has a mic that comes with it, and Fender, I think we all know, is a pretty well-known name in music equipment. And this roughly $580 package comes with the speakers, stands, some cables and a mic. But I was thinking you would probably need a little bit more. So perhaps a couple of desk mics to go on the desk here. So Shure is also a good name in music equipment, roughly $90. And then, the price for a couple desks and I don't know, like 20. I didn't do too good on the math, but if we add up that final number, Fender PA system of about $580, a couple of microphones, and they're good microphones, so maybe we think we should not spend $90 a piece, but that's $180, couple of desks, and $25, $50, so a total of roughly $800. And, I didn't contact the people that are providing this, but it gives you an idea. I don't know if you want to just have a cheap little system, to save some money. And, I went to like a musician kind of supply house and, we could get an amplifier and microphones and speakers a lot cheaper if you want to stretch your budget out a little further.
Do these come in, carrying cases?
The package, if you look closely, is actually one of the selling points in a way. The amplifier and the speakers all hook up together, so it's easy to carry. And I'm thinking you may be having some meetings that would take place somewhere else, and that would be, shall we say, a selling point. There's also something else that was brought up, that possibly, when people are addressing the board and the public, perhaps like a lectern or something might be handy for, people that have their notes such like this. So that's a possibility. We might be able to come up with something like that. So,
Somebody might make one.
It's a possibility. So,
I'm not like some professional presenter. You got a rough draft, you got some information, and you got some prices, and I might be off on the prices, but you got some basics there to think about.
I personally do believe there's other times that it can have use. I think we borrowed before.
I think so.
Or like
Or
the
park.
the park or the Memorial Day, that's like.
That's right, and that's why I say also that portability where it all packages together.
Yeah.
I packaged a lot of them up, speakers and mics and all that sort of stuff. Keep me on my toes.
Thank you.
Now, as far as Rich, can you install this for us? Can you, I can help you with whatever, but is that okay for us to come in and I can't give the okay to do this? Won't cost you anything for anything as far as that goes. If everybody said okay with that.
Yeah, and access to this is when the guys are working, just zip through here. And that door through the garage, and
So,
so.
but I think it's well needed.
So what is the board's?
Rich, does that system there have like the Bluetooth capability? I'm just thinking like over there, like those guys are always starting to play the taps, right, for the more support or for the Memorial Day and stuff.
Yes, and the fine point there, and I'm used to the plain old Nixon.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's they have Bluetooth, but,
So the speaker,
Well, I'm just thinking over there, they're always-
wireless.
You're right.
no, those mics all have cords.
Oh.
If you want a wireless
Yeah.
mic, it's gonna cost.
Yeah,
a-
you don't want cords, you want to be wireless. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't want cords.
I like cords. but-
No, not when you.
All right, again, the prices will go up then for wireless mics, but.
Yeah.
What would they be, Rich? $200?
I would say 200, maybe 3,
Yeah.
but you're getting a good quality
Yeah.
one. If you get desperate, the Xterra has a good wireless mic.
Well, I'd hate to see wires going to the front.
Oh,
table,
yeah, unsafe.
Wireless, whatever it means, so.
The wireless, you can just,
We're gonna get it.
you can have a couple for you guys and one for the public comments.
So that would add, good bit.
What do you think, Rich, 1,200-1,300 should cover it closely? Do you want, come back with a different price with a wireless mic?
It's a pleasure of the board.
Yeah, let's do that. Price on the wireless mics.
Okay, would you kindly do that for us? Thank you. Right, for that, we'll move into old business. The financial report, we're going to have it in the packet. We have a story discussion. The next one, which is never here on time, is the bank monthly report. Is that available electronically?
She always sends it to me the day after.
So can you
I
send
can
it out,
send it out.
send it out to the board members? Yeah. Okay.
So you're confused about the money.
Okay, with that addresses old business. We'll move into new business. The lead study on lateral pipes. Lead. It says, it doesn't say lead. Oh, lead, oh geez.
It says both.
Could be either or.
Lead the lead. Lead, dead, head. Lead study of lateral pipes. We have a report on
We gotta have that done by October of this year. For the state, I thought it was in part of the water study thing.
it. It's not.
It's not, I called Department of Judith and I called Bank, I thought somewhere, I know we've talked about it. And I was thinking in the study had gotten done, and I reached out to both of them and they said, no, it was up in the air, because we've had like a year, almost 2 years to do it, but it is due this fall, so we need to come up with a way to do it.
Ian, is that something that the Public Works or Highway
So I'm
going to do?
Taylor had sent me from Bartlett with like a spreadsheet, different ways to tell, because some of them are in the wall, right, there's just a fitting, so. Yeah, there's ways you can do it without paying to have it done.
So hopefully.
Oh, wait, the biggest thing is we need to probably send a letter out, hopefully, maybe even that civics thing. The guys, a lot of people go door to door, basically go to every house, every entrance in, so.
Here's another place.
Check the pipe coming into the foundation.
From the main, and I had talked to Kevin, he doesn't believe that there's any left, there might be some galvanized ones left, but he doesn't believe there's any lead left. But,
This could be where this other person that we'd like to put on staff would help too. Right?
yeah, you got some knowledge there, I don't know.
Okay, well, I meant this,
You have to visually inspect everything.
well, I guess
Yeah,
what I'm saying is they could be doing something else
Yeah.
and free the guys up. Yeah. Okay. So which leads us.
but it would
in-
give us the points, help if we ended up,
Yeah.
that would definitely be on.
So this is a visual inspection, probably a picture taken and.
Yeah, I think there was a picture thing, if you wanted to download it, and then it has to be all submitted, Steve. Said he would help me kind of compact everything into the survey when we're done. So. I need.
And just anything to the meter.
What's that?
Just.
Just to the meter,
Just to
that
the
jumps on our end, nothing, what they do inside the house is still on them.
Mhm.
And I kind of remember that because back when we had the high flows of sewer, that was kind of our way to check other things, so. I would like to be able to do that.
So it sounds as if you've really got a handle on
Yeah, we've, in the last few weeks, we've kind of started to get a game plan together. Biggest thing is we've been kind of waiting to make sure everybody's up here, since most everyone's back from vacation and so.
Sure.
Hope from there.
Good.
Item number 2, and my latest conversation was Dean, that I thought this is something that he should pull together. Because it would be under his direction. Are you all in unison on that?
a seasonal employee.
Yes.
Well, I'm really in support of bringing on temp in the sense that it's probably is gonna be a job that'll run through maybe Labor Day.
Right.
And it's an hourly thing, that doesn't accrue benefits. There probably ought to be some maximum on the number of hours a week worked. But it seems to me as if we've got a lot going on right now,
Right.
and it'd be good to have somebody who keep the trash baskets empty and the
Right.
plants watered needed.
A little more than that, so there's also keep track down at the boat launch.
Yeah.
What are we thinking for days? That's.
Well, I would like to see like maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's kind of like in the bathhouse, one of the busiest, and it's. I go in because I go in there because we have so. We do clean them when we're there, but if we had somebody for 4 hours in the morning to. Like you said, to park trash and stuff, it does get busy on the weekends.
Interestingly enough, Judy told me that Ronnie used to take the water hose to clean up those bathrooms.
Oh, we have a little pressure, which it's complete dysfunction, what happens with it, but, I mean, that's, thank God for floor treats and stuff, I gotta say.
Maybe 4 or 6 hours a day, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think, I mean, I think 6 would be fine, I mean.
Then they can clean up the goose crap and all that daily. Can we get rid of those things?
You want
It's
to pass,
code violation.
you want to pass a law?
What's how much that goose control or whatever?
You know, I reached out there once, it was but she never got back, it was a couple of years ago, actually, Liz,
They have a dog.
yeah, Liz came by a couple of times and they did some
That's
stuff.
got crazy, that amount of poop on the sidewalks and then.
Oh, yeah.
We did try a few things last year, it worked,
Then,
yeah. We're gonna try it again this year.
Does this don't ask, don't tell? Is this don't ask? don't
Yeah,
tell?
that's a good thing,
so you're thinking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and
yeah.
only 6 hours a day? That's only 18
I was
hours,
gonna say, you think you're gonna find somebody for 18 hours?
or maybe do.
You got-
one.
I've got one person that's already interested. He's retired.
He's not interested.
He isn't interested at all now?
Well, he is, but he doesn't wanna do certain things, only wants to do this or that,
Oh, okay.
so.
It'd be a good job for one more kid.
I think maybe you find a summer kid, that's.
Right? You're gonna be retired.
What do you think about that?
I think throw the advertisement out there and see what you get, that's what.
You've, yeah, just as long as you have fleshed out what you,
Yeah.
what you want, yeah. Okay, and probably the sooner the better.
Yeah. I'll get it to Jill so she can get it advertised.
Super, thank you.
Yeah. I like that.
The third item is resolution to add streetlights to poles on Bay Street.
These are the poll numbers and,
There's more than Bay Street down there, isn't there?
Nope, it's all.
Oh, I thought there was one. Oh, yeah, it's down on the corner too. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the last back station.
So we take over that little book.
That'd be very.
does this call for any discussion before a motion's made?
Making us do.
Discussed them before, I just have never gotten a chance to get them.
Now, is that going to, is that going to include the one down by the boat dock at the work?
Yes, actually, I have the,
No.
that was not on anybody's inventory, I like really boat launch, right, there's a light there, but I did talk to, I'm open to help us get a light there.
Good, good, because that'll help. That's the stuff that goes on.
Yep.
With that said, then-
I'll make the motion. We put the streetlights on Bay Street.
I'll second it.
motion was made and seconded. Roll
David?
call, please.
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Sean? Chris,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye, motion carries.
I just got one thing I gotta add, new business real quick.
Now it's with you.
Unless Michelle wants to go first.
No,
I know we've discussed this before, I think. But I really would like to know. When we do the water, if we're gonna do sewer, because either one way or another, I gotta put a tank in. We're gonna run sewer, all the lots out through there were sold once, municipal sewer. I just wanna know. If I gotta wait, if I'm gonna put my own in, because. I mean, it's 2 years out roughly. Is that something? I know we talked, maybe when they blast, they could do the sewer, I don't care either way, but I just wanna know. I mean, I don't wanna put a $5,000 system in and then. Decide. Cause everybody I talked to with all the new lots want municipal sewer.
Well. We need to probably,
And what's sewer and water, 12-foot separation, what'd they say?
But it doesn't have to be. Anyway, but. It has to be thought.
All can be higher, it's like.
Right.
Okay.
so it would appear that we need to move on that if we're gonna do something. And would that mean we reach out to an engineering firm?
And how much longer before we know what our water district's gonna do to tie into? For the water upgrades, when are we ever gonna see prints on that?
That's a good question.
Water upgrade. I think the application for that is within the next month or two.
And we should see a tentative,
They're gonna be here,
Piping.
they told me today, and they saw no particular. Advantage in him being here tonight, but they're gonna be here next month.
But that goes down to, because me and I were talking about, looking at this walkway path, which we need to, we can't do anything with this until we really know what our water, what's
Right,
going
and
on.
the time taken away to spend that money, if I remember right. Do you remember?
Yeah, as long as we have it, kind of like earmarked, correct, Jill, on that
Yes.
money, as long as we have.
Any
a plan,
contracts,
Yeah,
any contracts or anything for the spending has to be signed by, is it September 24th?
I don't know what we do, I mean, you almost might have to ask an engineer there, because you have vacuum on this side and you can run pump. And we have vacuum at the new plant, there was a port put out through the wall for a vacuum added, if it ever did come this way, but. I don't know if it's easier.
The question being, if they're doing the other, should we just have this incorporated in with it? With Barton do this, or what's your thoughts?
We got 3 lots, 4 lots.
Or,
I
I talked to,
Yeah, I think if we took vacuum from Main Street in, we had more depth, you know what I mean, to the try, because the biggest thing is crossing that creek, that's where we're gonna run into our issue, you know.
so you could actually come across that field
Right,
with just easements.
right,
I mean, I don't care either way, I just gotta know, I guess, you know.
I think there's enough depth across that field
Yeah.
to do.
I was 6 feet down with my,
Yeah,
meter.
we could easily put a pot, either,
So that could be
either you put
What we could do
a
is-
buffer tank out by the road and use like E1 grinders and push it to them. Push it to the buffer tank, or you put a pod in every house, I don't know which way is cost effective. Cause it'd probably be. I don't know, would be.
That way, I don't think you need to blast if you want through that.
Right, that's what I'm saying, just crossing that creek is gonna get us.
We shouldn't.
Well, if you go to the main street though, right?
Right.
If you can just go to the main street.
Right,
that
right,
one
right, and
blast.
tie into the other.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just, I've been holding out, but I know it's kind of a constant, it's a question, but gotta ask it.
You gotta know.
The other side of the coin is you might wanna look at what's gonna cost, because if it's gonna cost us. How many thousands of dollars for 4 people,
Right, yeah, I don't, either
It might
way,
be-
I wanna know. either
that would
way. I
have to
don't
be,
wanna-
that would have to be absorbed by those 4 people.
I don't want. to
Not
put a
just,
septic
not the
system in
existing
and-
district, which could get out of round putting the septic system in,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
I don't know, I just wanna.
And
put it away.
who are we going to have hold us these numbers together?
I know you could have Hardin and Judas, but I'm getting sick of paying them for studies.
I think we had a plan to put water in and
Water, definitely.
Right,
I
that
mean, I
one-
can get you like rough numbers for equipment, I don't know about installation. You know what I mean, like the buffer tanks versus E1s, how many you're gonna know,
Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do the work? You don't have time,
no. Not good.
and it's all gonna be posted, right?
Yeah.
That's
Like I
gonna be
said, I don't
all-
care either way, I'll put a system in, it don't matter, I just wanna, I don't wanna put $5,000 in. And then,
Me,
Oh,
me
sure.
sitting here, I'm saying, what we're gonna do water, and I think the septic should be left alone to the,
that's fine with me, I just
To the
wanna, I
landowners.
just wanna know where you're going.
I don't think you're gonna get a septic, if the municipal system went in, you're not gonna get it for $5,000,
yeah,
you're not gonna get $10,000.
No,
right.
So it would cost you double amount, I mean, the longevity of the municipal is always better,
right,
but the nice thing about those lots are they all have soil, so.
So there's 4 across there, the best you can hope for would be. They would commit 20,000, or otherwise it would, you might just well do your own.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm
I think
hearing?
it's about 20,000.
That's what I'm.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's down to payroll,
I'm trying to back into it,
you're right, no,
okay,
no, I just wanna know either way,
now you know.
so that's a no,
Do the sewer, wait for the water.
right, yeah.
other way around.
Other way around.
Way around.
Do the water
Yeah,
wait
put the
first.
sewer
Yeah,
in, my ourselves, yeah.
put your own sewer in.
Yeah.
Do the sewer.
And wait for the water to come around.
Yeah,
That's what you, yep,
Yes.
you got it.
oh, that's what I said.
I just, like I said,
no, I want the other way around, no.
See, sort of like the lead study.
Yeah. Okay,
That's what I'm saying, you're
Cause
probably,
only once was like $7,000.
each pot is roughly, you're gonna be probably close to 4,800 to 5,000 for each, if you want the grinder, E1 pot, the pump, the control panel. So then you got the lines to go to it, so.
All right, should we move on, gentlemen? Is that the last of the new business?
I think Michelle had her.
What
hand
were we doing with you?
No, I did not.
up. Oh, I thought you did, I thought I, okay, okay.
No, that's what the hell you're talking about.
Are we gonna leave that, did you need just a date to start, or are we gonna leave that open?
No, all right, you're going to be bringing in some other business. Right now. Do you mind if other business goes before department reports? Anyone?
Oh, did you get done?
No, I don't.
I thought I could have put her. name.
She's a concerned citizen. Okay, that's it.
So in other business, having discussed with the other board members, I make a motion that we go with complete payroll to do our payroll for the town, employees and retirees too, right? It'll be retirees, complete payroll,
Yeah,
to do our bookkeeping stuff, help with the bookkeeper. At a date to be determined by complete payroll is when to start.
I'll second that.
the motions are made and seconded. Roll call.
Okay. Dave, Gary,
Aye.
Sean.
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye. And one other. The appointments of the, do you have that? Do you have it printed out? Remember the one that I went in today and we did the,
didn't that give it to you?
no,
I don't.
well, I think I can do it from my notes. We need to make appointments for this group that's going to work on the, the review of the comprehensive, no, over the RP. Fine, I remember that, because I need to list them and then those appointments need to be, the appointments need to be approved. The appointments need approved.
Yes.
Okay, there you are.
I
I thought you left. No, you were saying, I thought, where did she go?
I don't know. I don't have the numbers.
I do. You have the floor. Why don't you go over this other part?
We have, for all of these grants to become available, most of them are available through the Department of State through the Consolidated Funding application. What we're finding is they want us to have the comprehensive plan updated, and they want, and have the local waterfront revitalization plan updated. Frank and Chris and I met with St. Lawrence County Planning Department, and they said, your comprehensive plan is looking pretty good. And you don't really need to spend a whole lot of time on it, but you need to update it. Let's get a celebration together and say, hey, we've done all of this since dissolution of the village. Move into an update, set a couple of new goals, take care of that. But we need to have an advisory council for all of these programs, so that when we apply for a grant, we can say, yes, we've gone to the public, we've run this through the public, we've got input, and we can document it. Coming up in August, there's going to be, or late July, early August, there's going to be a local waterfront revitalization plan grant available. And we've talked about applying for it, and it's a planning grant. So is this you don't probably have it with you, do you?
That's yours.
Oh, that's the comprehensive plan.
Yes,
Okay.
that's.
And so the LWRP is huge, and it was done, you remember, Chris?
1990.
1990.
I do have a list.
Perfect. It was done in 1990, and we're thinking, according to the planning office, that we can probably use all the same maps. I know that you were going to contact and Army Corps of Engineers and so on and so forth, but that's the next step. Before we do anything, we just need this advisory council. If we were able to be successful in any of the grant applications that we do, Restore New York, New York Forward, Main Street grants, any of the revitalization money that becomes available, we need some kind of citizens advisory council. And so what we've been talking about with the planning office is appointing this group as an advisory council and have them advise you about the steps that we should be taking. And then you make the decisions. But there's a grant that has to be written by the end of July. So I put together a little timeline that we're hoping we can follow. It looks like it would take 4 or 5 meetings. You guys have seen it. You want to say, this is just what was in the,
And what,
in the email.
and what my hope is that each one of these people is ready to serve, that we can give them a copy of that time.
Oh, yeah, I'll get one to fill it, so she can have one.
She hasn't.
Okay, and so the notion is that Frank has a list of people who would serve on the committee. I think you have two business representatives.
I have.
Talk about who you have.
Yes, we have Iron Horse and your wife is graciously offered to serve. So then from the Black Lake Association, we have Jay Carter, we had Scott and Steve Roof. Chris is going to serve in the town of Morristown. From the Gateway Museum, Mr. Cosler has agreed to serve. I'm jumping around here. Let me just go down through these here. And Marie served.
PM?
Yeah.
Kind of in the background, taking notes.
Carolyn Noble for the public library. Ellen Place, another one for the Gateway Museum. Myself. Dean Shelto. Shelto from the museum.
Got to.
Mike Warren for the Black Lake Fishing Game Club. Bridget from the public library. And I said Cindy from, I don't know her last name, from Iron Horse. Other than that, Briar Hill Fire Department, I don't see that on there. Oh, he's graciously offered to serve. And I just heard back from Jay, and unfortunately, there's no one that wants to step up from the fire department.
In Morrison.
Sure.
So
It was suggested, and I will just throw it out there, what your thoughts are, whether there should be somebody from promotions.
I think that originally you talked about that.
Okay, I missed that on my notes here.
I think that this is a core group that we're talking about. One of the things that's really important is just making sure that the public knows that the meetings are going to take place, that everybody is invited, that it's not a matter of voting and saying 6 of us approve this and 5 of us don't approve this. It's really to advise you and make sure that everybody is heard, that all of the voices in the community are heard. Because I think when we applied, I didn't even know this. I mean, maybe Michelle knew it because she's been in the business. But I didn't know about all of these kinds of requirements, and that we should advertise like crazy. We should make sure it's on the radio. We should get a committee together that is representative of the people in the community. And so this is just the initial step. What I have prepared for you is this notion. If we appoint this group tonight as an advisory council, between tomorrow and May 16th, we need to ask Jill if she would make copies of the comprehensive plan and the current LWRP and make sure everybody has one so we can read it, understand it. And then on May 1st, Heidi Ames from the county planning department has offered to come and facilitate and meet with us, all of you, as many of you as want to join, but Frank and Chris and I especially, and make an agenda for the first meeting. There would be 3 meetings possibly, May, June, and July. And I suppose if we got into it, we needed to have more, we could. The county planning office has offered to facilitate the first meeting for free. Heidi would come, and she's suggesting a celebration, because I think it really is true. When you get into the comprehensive plan, a lot of what's in there has been done. when you created that. And so, I think that that's something to celebrate. Look, we said we were gonna do it when the plan was first drafted, and it's been done, so let's add some things to that plan. So maybe we take one. If the St. Lawrence County Planning Department needs to be invited back to facilitate further meetings, then they would give us a proposal, but there would be a charge. So the first meeting is free, and anything after that, we would have to discuss for them to come back and facilitate. And so that's the timeline. I think that's all the information that's necessary. We think that the grant application isn't out, but if we follow last year, it's probably due at the last week of July, the first week of August. It's the comprehensive plan, and the LWRP will help us get a planning grant. It will probably be to ask for $50,000 to $100,000 to put together a consulting firm that would come in just like Barton and LaJudas comes in for you. Chris, I'm talking too much. Tell us, you've been in all these meetings, you talk.
The application that goes in this year would be to fund a new local waterfront revitalization plan. Really bring that up to date so that it reflects our current status and goals. So it's really important. I think, given our experience with the water districts, it's very important that we let everybody in the community know what we're thinking about and have input into what we choose to follow. So this is an attempt, really, in my mind, to bring the community together and to produce the ammunition that will get us substantial grants.
I don't think we're gonna be able to go anywhere with any of these grants unless we have these things in place. Absolutely the comprehensive plan.
That's probably the simplest part.
Yeah, that'll be the
That's
simplest
the
part.
simplest.
And the LWRP, I mean, I don't have that kind of expertise. There may be people in the community who do. But I
Rick
think-
Johnson was on that committee. He's there's a whole bunch of people on that committee.
On the comprehensive plan or on the
On the
LWRP?
LWRP
Yeah.
that are dead.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
They are deceased, so, but Rick Johnson is not, he was on it.
Shirley was on.
Shirley
Shirley
McDonald.
McDonald was on.
There's still some,
Okay.
still some live bodies that might be running now.
But the guard has changed, hasn't it?
It certainly has.
Probably what we would be doing is writing a grant and looking for a firm that has expertise in waterfront development. And I don't know what that firm would be. Do you?
Well, I know, I recently read a proposal from somebody that does that stuff, so
Okay.
I think we will find them and we'll be able to make some choices. There will be a chance to talk with other communities about whether they've had good experience. And, it's almost like hiring somebody. You do your best to pick the best and see whether there's a good match, I think, between the consulting firm and this community.
We're doing a lot of picking, aren't we, Dave?
A lot of that going on.
But this would be a process that would start now, run through the end of July, the beginning of August to do that grant application. But it would also involve things like any grants that we might want to apply for the stone mill. Because in order to apply for the historic preservation grants in the Parks Department, we have to have these things in place. And this has to be included as one of the goals in the comprehensive plan that we want to restore the mill. So, everything all fits together now in ways that it didn't before technology. Before technology, everything was.
They still have that graph you want to put up,
What's that?
that graph you did with the arrows.
Oh, no. Well, you could. I think they saw that, but you shared that
They did.
with everybody, so they've already seen that.
And just to update you, there's been a number of these that have gone out already to the people that.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. The LWRP is gonna be the one that's costly to reproduce if we have to reproduce all the maps. And while I'm at it, if there aren't any questions about this and appointing people, I would just like to mention the business about the stone mill and the proposal that has been made. We were waiting for this Avery contracting company to get back to us, and they haven't gotten back to us. I've made 3 calls, and the fellow who answers the phone, who's one of their workers, says, oh yeah, well, they're gonna be down there and they're gonna contact Steve White and they're gonna be looking at the mill and we'll get at you. And there's been nothing. I've made 3 phone calls with no returns. In the meantime, our historian went to a meeting and she was in conversation with a woman named Nancy LaFavor.
She's the county historian.
Yes.
Okay,
She's a St.
the
Louis
county
County.
historian.
I was gonna ask you about this.
Okay, and so Nancy LaFavor said, hey, there's a fellow named Randy Crawford, and you need to get in touch with him. He's an architect, and he's the guy who worked on Pickens Hall. And he's done lots of work, but he's an architect. He's not a mason. And so I called Nancy LaFavor, and she was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So she said, I was on the phone with her for like 2.5 hours. She said, I learned so much. She said, get in touch with Randy and put this whole thing by him. Because on one hand, we've got Lupini, who's telling us it's $40,000. We've got Avery, who doesn't have an engineering degree, and we're, wondering what's gonna happen when we go forward and apply for a grant with Parks and Recreation and Historic Preservation. Are they gonna want an engineer? So I call Randy Crawford. So Randy Crawford is a very well-known architect from Syracuse. Apparently somewhere in our community, there is a structural engineer. I don't know who it is. Maybe you guys know who it is. He did not give me a name. What he said was, he would be willing to work on this and see if he could put together a team. Randy Crawford is the architect. This structural engineer who somehow has property in the town of Morristown.
Okay. It's like, we were talking about it before. Bill?
What does Will Henschel do?
Will Henschel, that's it.
No,
Is
he's
he
an
something?
architect too, isn't he?
He's an architect.
Oh,
No, my guess is that, like, Randy is probably my age. And, I'm thinking that maybe whoever this structural engineer is retired, so he's gotta be, close to my age. Anyway, and Randy Crawford says, oh, well, I'm great friends with Scott Lupini, let me call him. And so Randy is proposing that he can convince these people to do the same structural analysis that Lupini was proposing for $20,000. So I didn't want to call Randy Crawford back until you had all heard this story. They are not masons, they're engineers.
Which is, we need at this structure.
What they're saying is, if this is really gonna cost $500,000 or $1 million or whatever it's gonna cost, it's gonna be a lot. And no one is gonna give us that money unless we have an engineering report. You guys know more about this stuff than I do. But they're just because Avery is willing to do, and it still could be Avery who did the work. But there's gotta be a template, there's gotta be a blueprint, it's gotta be, this is what the results said. And so that's where we are, but just so you're updated on.
And it brings us into the money that we set aside for this between the. Yeah. You don't know, this doesn't ring a bell with you, this structural engineer?
No, not I mean, yeah.
Well, I just
like
thought
Claire, that's a
in your-
structural engineer, that's local, but I don't know what his expertise is with masonry work and stuff like that, but I mean, I think you probably have a few structural engineers in Morristown, but maybe there's, I'm thinking that what you're talking about is something that's much more specialized
Maybe,
in
I don't know.
this that he's thinking of, which could be a retired guy that,
I thought maybe it was a retired guy who had a seasonal residence.
yeah,
That's
that's what I was
kind of what I was thinking. But I don't know.
Marie, what's the next step? Should we, as a board, authorize going ahead and asking Randy Crawford to put this package together on paper.
Well, I think that he wanted to make his telephone calls.
Yeah.
I didn't want to follow up with him until you guys knew what was going on. I mean, I'm your volunteer grant writer, ex-English teacher, folks. I'm not much more than that, so. If you say go ahead and call Randy, this sounds interesting, I can do that. And see if he's having any luck with Lupini. I mean, Lupini then wasn't returning my calls either. Yes, I should consider why people are returning my calls too.
I would say that we're at a stalemate now. I think that's the logical place to go. What does everyone else think? Gather information, so good.
And so if we have 20, they won't release the money until we have something.
Yes.
So you guys have pledged money, the community fund has pledged money, but Randy and the county historian Nancy really convinced me that the way to go is with an engineer. Now, Rick Johnson and Steve White think, oh, no, you don't need one. But
I think you need one if you want more money.
If you're gonna get state money.
Yeah, you're gonna
want.
look for any money.
It's gotta be written
Yeah,
authorities.
Yeah. Somebody with a degree that's putting their stamp on.
yeah, our professional engineers. Anyway, that's an aside, that's what I do when I'm.
There's your next assignment.
Sure, thanks. Any questions about any of this stuff? Okay, it's a lot. But with your okay and the appointment of this committee, we will go ahead and follow this timeline if it's okay with you, and you'll start seeing, I think we can get Deb to start doing advertisements and look for public participation. See how it goes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You didn't have to drive through the snow to get there.
No, but I came home to dirty, to a dirty camp, so with mouse turds all over.
Oh, see, it got worse.
Oh,
than
yeah.
it got there. Okay, with that, we will move into the department reports.
Do you need to accept that this committee?
Or you want me to write?
I have them all written down, you just
Okay.
need to accept it.
Do you need them read off again? Or what, do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion to accept the names you have.
Do we have a second? Yes.
Dave,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Sean.
Aye.
Chris and Frank.
Aye. So the motion carries. Now we can move on to department reports.
I just renewed the warrant. We're halfway through the property tax collection, so that's been renewed. Just a reminder, fish and license are on sale at the clerk's office. I'll be attending the New York State Clerks Conference, April 21st through the 24th.
That was a party.
No,
So when does that help?
that's in Albany this year. At the Desmond. Mm.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. We'll move on to. Who's next?
So water sewer's been running good. We got, I believe, all the seasonal water is on now. I think all the meters are in. They all decided to come back to see the big eclipse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I have, thank you. Please, thank you for doing that for some of you.
Yeah, there's a few of them. I'm like, they called me on Thursday. I'm like, you realize it's inches of snow? Like, I don't know, like the temperatures are up, but it's like. But so they're all in. I believe there's maybe a couple on Riverview yet, but they just put the meters in, but everything's good there. The building is coming great. Chris was out, I believe yesterday was. Because they stopped by, take a look. They started framing up the offices, mechanical rooms today, the bathrooms.
I was in there 2 days ago.
They'll be starting to wire in there probably in the next day or two. I know I was just, you guys just had a conversation earlier. still struggling a little bit with, third party that we hired to help us get insurance money. I sent them I tried calling him today, I sent him another email to Andrew, the new guy, have no response back.
Where are you gonna be tomorrow?
I will get my shop.
Should I tomorrow?
How much do they roughly owe us right now?
We're probably 500,000. Probably close somewhere in there. I mean, Carol could get you the exact number. Most everything big, there's just, basically finish up paying contractors. So I mean, you know, that's why I tried to tell this Mark, but then he left the scene. But you know, this is probably close to our final number. Like, you could get us this much, then there might be some tail ends at the end that we can try and fight for, but.
Wasn't one of our board members recommending that?
So I don't know, I've submitted pictures, I've submitted everything I know what to submit to the guy, the only thing he was waiting for was to sign some stuff with Frank. Through Andy, we're supposed to have that the next day or so, I guess,
Supposed to be
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
so.
Yeah.
We'll send that to him, but I've sent everything that this guy has asked for,
And,
I don't know what else to do.
and if I recall, this particular guy said he never came up and it sounded like he was gonna.
Yeah, like he might come up, like we could never get Mark to ever come back up here, like we've tried, Chris, you know, we've tried to sit down and have some meetings like for paperwork, so. Hopefully in the next week here, we can get some more answers from this guy. Other than that, we'll start spring cleanup probably next week here or so. We did, so the building that was left, the cold storage that was standing that we did into our shop was green steel. We ended up with a, Bill, the engineer, myself sat down a couple weeks ago, went through some stuff, all the bills. So we ended up with a fellow at $9,000 credit through Ethic Steel. Because we changed inside walls from steel to block. For fire reasons, it was just easier that way. So we ended up, for the credit, they give us, we traded for the siding that will match from the green to the new building. So all the whole building will be identical siding and color. There's still a little credit left there, but they'll send us a check from the Brisbane projects if we need something else different. So I thought that was, it'll look nice. I mean, it saved us, the siding was close to like $7,200 still. Like I said, so as of right now, there's no change in the price. We have a little credit left with them.
So you said we got 500,000 roughly of our money out there right now?
I think that's what Carol told me, Dave. I
Remember she.
And how much are we supposed to have left as insurance money?
well, I think according to what they said that one night, we had up to 4 million. Aggregate or whatever, over and above that extra policy, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, we'll be like at 1.5 million with the building. I think if my numbers might be just a hair over now, but we should be right there. So there should be enough insurance money to cover everything at the building. We just gotta, according to him, right, like, the code changes, all that was gonna be, oh yeah, we can get that,
I know,
remember?
that's.
So that's where I'm like, you know, like, okay, here we go, I remember this conversation, so now we're like down at the crunch line, let's get our, you know, there's still rental stuff, we haven't got a rental check for like. The trailer, the 2 Connexes, so I mean, there's that money that's out there yet.
Where are these guys located?
Moving side.
We gotta find the
Dave,
address.
I'd like to.
If need be, you and I should
Make a
drive
list
down.
of
Try to
expense for
Honestly,
the expenses we've planned. Pull out what we have on the insurance. See if we can put together the way total cost looks now and the way total reimbursement.
Yeah,
Well, Carol has it all in that book, she has it broke right out.
They need to understand it better. than
Me
we
too.
do right now. So
Yeah.
maybe we.
right now I'm getting pretty worked up.
I
We don't have this money, we're using our money, taxpayer
Exactly.
money, on something we shouldn't be.
Yeah, and
But I don't want
that's,
contractors to stop, it's gonna, cause
Right.
they don't get paid, they're gonna be gone.
oh yeah,
And you
and that's why I say,
it's tough getting
thank God we had a little money to keep going, because if not, like say it was another smaller town that didn't have a. Nest egg, we would have to stop, we would just have to stop where it is,
Or borrow money,
yeah,
I don't wanna do it anymore.
and.
no other way we want to take those, there's no penalty, we would have to take some of that
Right.
savings money.
No, but we shouldn't have to.
I know we shouldn't.
You know, I mean, that's the thing, that's why we're getting,
We
you know,
just
'cause
need,
we are coming to the end
we
of it.
just need to be able to make our case so that it's clear. I don't think we're gonna get screwed. But we need to be able to make our case.
But I know Carol has built a great book with,
Oh, yes, she's got all.
it's like everything that we've done, every money we've received, everything is broke out.
This is the last time we talked to this Andy guy or whatever.
I talked to him weeks ago, I went on vacation, he was on vacation, so I've been trying to reach him in this last week. So before the meeting, so I had some more, possibly more information.
So what
I'll
I-
just give you,
So if you're gonna be in your office in the morning, I will come up
okay,
and let's see if we can.
The two of you call and say,
Yeah.
you need to get in
Yeah.
touch with us ASAP.
and that's pretty much like, I did send him an email this afternoon, it was later, but like, you know. We need to, what more do you need before we get
And
another
as I
payment?
said,
Give me a list of stuff that you need
if we,
for us to have a payment, Frank, if you
Yeah,
have your email, I.
if we don't get a response, I'm serious, you and I need to drive down.
Now the contractor's gonna walk off the job and not get paid.
Or do you think, are you suggesting we have our lawyers send them?
I don't know, whatever, someone something.
We have a contract with them, remember?
We do, yeah, they get so much percentage of it.
Yeah.
You need to.
They
Yeah,
can enforce the make some, enforce the contract. If need be. Okay,
The only other thing I had was, so paving is becoming an issue again. We've used this guy from downstate, it's been good, I think he's gonna do us again this year. The county is booked pretty solid, I'd like to try, I have a vendor that's gonna drop me off a bid. The town of Home used to do it, and a few other towns, all in place, like have a company come in and just haul it, lay it down with their machine, their manpower. Not that I wanna spend that extra money, but there's no other towns that are willing to help anymore. I mean, far as like, if we went and bought another paver, Oswegatchie doesn't have the guys to come help us like we did before. If this guy, Phil, does not come back, he just said he'd do it this year, but he's unsure, same thing, he can't get manpower.
this isn't soup code, is it?
We have some work with Suco, Suco doesn't do hot mix,
Oh, yeah,
but,
I know they're a big company, that's what.
yeah, no, we do our mulch mix with Suco, but, Suco doesn't do hot mix.
So you wouldn't even haul it like that.
Well, I don't know, I mean, it's just getting a struggle, I mean, towns just, they're busy, they're short manpower, they don't wanna send you 5 trucks in every day for 2 weeks paving, you know, or a week paving. So I just wanna see where the price is, I just asked for your guys' permission, I'll, pull together this bid, I'll get with Jill, just throw it in paper and see where the number comes, I'm not say we have to accept it, but it just gives us an idea of where we're gonna be possibly.
Even the county did that, they hired.
Yeah, the county, they just hired 43,000 ton of it, because they can't do it themselves, you know, and
Sign where the times.
it,
It is,
it really is.
and the prices, you know.
Well, I mean, you guys know where you guys used to pay your own stuff, I don't know, I just wanna see what the number is, I guess.
Makes sense, thank you, nothing else?
No, unless you guys.
I had a question, just a quick one.
Mhm.
I think it was, Younger Hunter, told me that for our sewer in our district,
Mhm.
that he turned off. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yep, so what we did there was,
Was-
yeah, everything is back on the
Okay.
rows. Yeah, so what we did there, Michelle, there was a 3/8 line at vacuum line that runs the whole system. We put these little valves in there.
Little petcocks?
Yep, and we shut them all off, the ones that aren't used all winter, because it saved, I'll tell you, it saved us a lot of washing and.
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
just wanna
overtime.
make sure, cause most are not home, but they're coming.
Shut them off, because they would just randomly open, you know, if they get enough in them or whatever, they would randomly open and freeze open and.
Yeah, it was a
So
great
we've
idea.
done that, I think this is our second year of all of them being done now, and it's really helped.
Good idea. Okay, thanks.
Have you had your men go through and pick up the fiberglass stakes along the?
Did they yet? I don't know, it was on their list.
Mine's gone. Mine is.
Well, maybe they did, they were down.
Yeah, I
there.
think they were doing that when they did the turn-ons for the water and the sewer turn-ons.
But
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Gregory, yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That was just. Did you last?
I did.
This is that?
Yes.
You thought you said May 9th, oh, May 9th.
Oh, right. It's starting to pick up in the office, we've got so far 5 new homes that have come in. I know 3 new ones coming after shortly, so it looks like it might be another good year for new home construction for town of Morristown. So that's a positive thing. Last week, we sent the junkyard law to Andy to send to the Attorney General's office.
I sent it right on to the state.
Oh, you did?
They weren't in their office, so I just did it.
Oh, well, so Jill sent that.
Okay.
So, that started our 10-day time frame. And when that's up, I'm going to go around and start citing and get the clock moving on all the problem properties we have out there. My goal is to try to get them all at least initiated, which is 30 days. After 30 days, we have to send certified letter, 20 days to a con, okay? So, that's my goal for that. I talked to Frank a little bit about, you know, should we be putting something out there to try to, get some sort of a hauler, pick some sort of a garbage hauler to pick up for us when we do get going on it. Maybe get 2 people in line. So, Frank thought it'd be a good idea to maybe doing something to
Put it on
our website.
Interestingly enough, I'm just looking for an email from a company that came in to me looking for that kind of work.
Oh, yeah, it would be nice to get something
And I'll
in
share-
line.
I'll share with you tomorrow.
And then
Read the
you
office.
folks will have to decide how much money you want to start initiating the process with. Because obviously some of the ones that I'll be serving are bigger ones, on top of the ones we're already initiating with Andy, as far as the Supreme Court ones that should be coming up very quick. If Andy's following through that with them.
Well, I would assume they'd have to come in and give us a quote on cleaning it up, right? And I'm gonna say,
That's not the way it's written, we can just, after proper
No, I
notice.
think what he means is that whoever we heard.
Oh, so, you know, hourly rate or something like that?
Say-
like, they can then see this and like, okay,
Per job.
$1,000,
You know, they talk about it.
Yeah, you know, my experience with it is,
or it's an hourly rate plus tonnage, you know, whatever they take from dump.
yeah, depends if we get somebody that's good. That's gonna be one to work with us, because every job is going to be different, and some of them, if it's just junk, you know. That's one thing to clean up, but decayed garbage that's been out there for a round of time. You're gonna pay more, and I would be charging you more too if I were doing that, so.
You got a dump trailer, I know you're up there right now.
Yeah, I'm ready to do that. So
How many property garbage? How many property? You mean
that will be served
Yeah.
again? I would guess there's at least a dozen that are, everybody knows of. That have been very stagnant for a while, and then we have 9 that we're currently working through. 9 or 7 that we're currently working through the Supreme Court with to clean up. So. Might make a little bit of a difference in looks in some of the areas that definitely need it. So. And my, you know, my hope is that it really will send a message out there and get people to stop doing what they've been doing for years out there, which is, you know, our junkyard allows you to put your garbage in the back. You know, I mean, it says out of sight, right? So if you have a farm or if you have something and you decide that you're gonna dig a pit in the back and throw it, you're not in violation to do that, but.
This is,
I was like,
this is what we were able to accomplish because of pushback.
Right, right. Yeah, so anyway, hopefully that'll get things moving a little bit and we can get something. I'm really gonna try to focus on Briar Hill, especially in the main drag right there. There's just so much. That it's terrible looking. It's terrible looking. We do have one down by the fire station that's in court now. I cited her, there was a summons, and hopefully that should be coming up soon in court, but I don't know that it'll go
I
far.
did, but didn't have a ride here, so they.
Yeah, the first time she didn't have a ride, so. Yep, but that's how things work in the court systems, you know, unfortunately. So, anyway, that's what we got going, and it does look like it's gonna pick up for building season, pretty heavy again, so I think that, Lisa will have her hands full when she steps in.
When will she start?
23rd.
Greg, what's her last name?
Thompson.
She lives on your road.
Yep, that's what. that's
Lisa
George
Thompson,
told me.
yeah.
Well, that'd be nice, you got her ear right there, don't you?
Good.
It's just what we
I
were.
was there, and she seemed like a nice lady, and I met her.
My ex-wife.
She's currently in
Yeah,
Potsdam.
currently in
Yeah,
Potsdam.
the village.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, these, there's.
Yeah. Okay, with that, we have,
Okay, David.
we
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
we have written report. The rest of the written reports in your packet, for your review. If, the business of the town is complete for tonight, I make a motion to adjourn. The meeting is adjourned.
No, I thought the other time.
Oh, you think I can hear you when you discuss?
There's no one else.
Yeah, the last meeting.
Yeah,
And it's not,
It's raining now, it's like.
well, also,
it's the end of the day.
you know, when somebody wants to, in the back, that's what the rest of the people. No, yeah, thanks.
Podium music.
Thank you for your attendance.
Quick question, will we have these meetings?
I can't talk to you now.
I'll make sure you'll hear me when I get closer. Just a quick question, when we start having these meetings with this new group, are we gonna be meeting here?
I would say yes. There's more room here than there is at the,
Well, I'm just asking that question because, do we have more chairs? Is there gonna be more people? Do we have more?
I think it's something I know.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of chairs.
Any more with
And there's
cushions?
more back there too.
No cushion.
No cushion, yeah, bring your own cushion.
Michelle, I wrote down 4 o'clock on Tuesday.
social one, that won't be good.
I
We
think
do
I
that
want
social one, we won't do that.
That's what I had from when we.
I think we need to reach out
That works for you.
reach out to the fire department and see if they
That's
can do it.
terrific. You have.
That's what it'd be nice to.
Oh, yeah, I have my copy and I.
They have a PA there.
Yeah, well, we have a CEOs, we're gonna have a meeting.
Frank Paul. Frank Paul.
Right?
Now you're in the microphone. Greg, stay up. You don't have to leave.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
I said wrong.
If you talk to me.
Right. I just don't.
And.
Around that number. We talked about once.